I'd like to call to order the February 27th, 2020 Park and Rec Commission regular meeting. We do have a quorum tonight. First of all, we need the approval of the minutes from January 30th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion at all? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Unfinished business, Riverwalk West update. I'm gonna guess it's Cindy, but I could be wrong.
No, it's me. Just short tonight. We submitted our Sustainer Great Lakes grant on February 11th. Their focus is on green infrastructure. Our grant request was $395,000, which is about half the estimated allocation that's going toward green infrastructure, but it's all the stuff that supports it too. So some of the wall and all that kind of stuff we included in that. So we did only half of the estimated cost of what that's gonna be going towards the project, because we have a better chance of getting money if we have a 1-to-1 match, so the other half would be paid by us. If this project this is one of the grants that I've submitted, so if we're selected to continue, we will get an invite for full proposals in mid-March, so by the next meeting, I should know if we're gonna continue or if that's a done deal. If we get an invite to move ahead in this process, then the full proposals due April 16th, and we would find out in August about awards. The grant awards for this grant are $100,000 to $1 million, so we're right in the range there. The only other thing I wanted to talk about is, we're having a Riverwalk Advisory Committee meeting on March 5th to talk about alley treatments, signage for the downtown, and kind of get them all up to speed on what's been going on since last summer. That's all I have, unless somebody's got some questions.
Is there a pretty good feeling about moving forward on this all? I read something in the paper, I won't
Jay?
say who, what, wherever, but they said 2021 things are gonna happen there. Is that true, or?
Sounds good, right?
It does? Okay. That's the answer you wanna hear, right?
Well, just so you know, we're doing this in 3 stages. I think I talked about
Yep.
that. So, yeah, hopefully utilities get done this summer. We still don't have a cost estimate for those, final cost estimates, so it's probably gonna be right around $1 million,
I'll bet you.
so.
Yeah. It's not gonna be cheap.
Any other questions for Cindy? All right, next is Library Rec Center Mutual Mall update. Is that,
I will start and
Okay.
then turn it over to Nick and Cindy if they'd like to add. We received permission to bid the project out from Common Council, I think 2 Mondays ago, something like that, week and a half ago. Right now Cindy has all the information back to Zimmerman Design to finish our specifications and things like that. Once we get that back and get the bid packets together, they will go out sometime in March. We don't have hard dates yet. Well for bid, mandatory pre-bid meeting, et cetera, et cetera. Our goal is still to have everything finished by Labor Day of this year. That is still our goal. So with fall rec programs and things like that, that's kind of a perfect date for us. So that is still our target. We are still working on some fundraising efforts. With that being said, if the commissioners are available Monday evening at 6 p.m. in the council chambers for a kind of news release, photo op, that would be great if some of you or all of you could make that. The library board will also be there, and I believe the early risers Kiwanis will be there for an announcement. Early risers are making an announcement on Monday, so probably something we would want to all be at if we can. With that being said, Nick, Cindy,
That's at 6, right, Mike?
that is at 6 p.m.
on Monday, the 4th?
On Monday, yes.
4th?
Yep.
The council meeting's
Council
at
meeting's at
6:30.
6:30, so.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
There will be a presentation at the council meeting too.
Yes, yes, there will also be an announcement at the council meeting,
Okay.
yes. But they did ask, Chris Jenkins asked me to pass along to the park commissioners. I was at the library board meeting earlier this week, and he asked that I pass it on to the commissioners, if we could make it, staff.
And he
things
said he
like
was
that.
gonna pass it on to the library board. and
Yep,
to-
yeah, because they met Tuesday, I think it was, so, yes. Anything else?
Nick?
The current programming, we're using Mutual Mall, we're gonna continue using Mutual Mall, until, we can't anymore, but
We knock it
obviously,
over.
right. So we have, finishing up with some spring stuff, and then summer need be like our dance, we'll use Camp Lodge, and Some of the group exercise classes will use Badger as well, so we got some space kind of on hold. But again, we want to stay at Mutual Mall as long as we can continue to operate a program in there, so. And then, like Mike said, once the library's built, it'll be a nice transition just to start up fall program in September. And get rolling in the fall with the new space.
Is, we're just bidding out phase one, is that correct, right?
At this time.
Just a
Yep.
second.
Yep.
Okay.
If fundraising goes really well, maybe we can roll right into phase two. That'd be great, seriously.
No, that'd be great.
Seem- yeah.
Outstanding. Any other questions? Okay. New business, reverse appropriated Quas Creek court funds to undesignated park account. Carolyn, I think?
Yeah, this is just basically a housekeeping issue with the PARC fund. In the past, there was that amount, $42,945.14, that was left over from the Quas Creek court development. And this was basically from the funding when we funded that whole basketball, pickleball, tennis courts and playground and everything out there. Leftover funds was originally earmarked, designated to go back to the PARC fund for miscellaneous projects. This is just officially making that change within our finance department. So your approval today will just make that official.
Any questions for Carolyn? And what was the amount again, Carolyn? I apologize.
$42,945.14.
Okay.
That will just be basically now called undesignated within the PARC fund.
Okay.
And so we'll have 55,641.49 undesignated.
So we're gonna need a motion for that, I take it, right? So we're looking for a motion?
Motion to approve.
Got a-
Second.
We got a motion, a second. Any other discussion on it? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Carolyn. Summer program fees, is that Nick?
Nick
Yep.
can start.
I'll start and then Courtney will have our LLC programs. Not a lot of changes for this summer as far as fees go. Some to note is our gymnastics classes increased slightly, $1. Those classes are large classes, they need a few extra staff than most of the other programs. And the gymnastics for the 3-week session is added an extra session. Last summer it was 5 classes. This year it's gonna be 6 classes within that 3-week session. And then, of course, the dollar increase. And then tennis, you can say the same for that program as well. Large classes needs a few extra staff, including a program coordinator. So the league is a slight increase of $2, and then lessons $1. Excuse me. And then golf, the junior golf program is a partnership program at the Bog in Saukville, and per their instructor, they also host that program as well. They need to put an increase of $4 on that program for those private lessons that they offer. The community out there.
Do they do that at the bog or?
They do, yep.
Oh, they do,
Yep.
okay.
Yep, they're golf pro, has been doing it for quite a while. They do spring for adults, and then in the summer they do youth, different classes, different
Oh,
weeks
okay.
that the kids can sign up and go out there, but. Yeah, they do it right out there, and it's kind of a joint program between West Bend, Port Washington, Cedarburg, and Grafton. So
Oh,
all
okay.
those communities have the opportunity to sign up for that program, and then they kind of meet together in one class, and they have class 15 to 20, and get instruction by the pros out at the bog. And then the beach is no changes at the beach, able to keep those fees comfortable, feasible, affordable for the community to enjoy Regner Beach. As you guys know, we seek donations to help out with the beach. Operational daily expenses are large, but we do our best to keep those fees affordable for everyone that enjoys Regner Beach. I'll turn it over to Courtney, LLC.
Sure. There are a couple increases. We have not increased our fees in over 3 years, so there's gonna be a $2 increase for junior naturalist camp, $2 increase for adventure camp. With adventure camp, we are adding also disc golf and fishing to that schedule, so that will be fun. There's gonna be a $3 increase for little hikers and a $4 increase for little hikers story time.
Okay. Any questions about the fee increases? No? I think we need a motion then.
Motion to approve.
Got a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Mesa special events.
I will take those for Jackie. You want them one at a time? Is there,
You wanna do it all together as one motion? Right?
do them all together? Okay, I will run through them, C through H. All right, the first one, Festa Latina, it is scheduled for May 16th. Again, just nothing really new for us this year, very popular, a good group to work with. It's a good group to work with, good event in Regular Park. A new one for us this year is the West Bend Moose Lodge Sunday Fun Day.
Hey.
They want to set up some different games and activities up in the entertainment area. Jackie's been working with them, some rentals on the property, and the Boys and Girls Club also moved their 5K date for this. So, and we have a softball tournament that weekend, and
Nice.
baseball, and it's all gonna work.
Nice.
So Jackie's been working diligently, Carolyn's been helping Jackie with renters and things like that, so a new event, I think it's gonna be pretty cool for Regner. It's great to work with the Moose Lodge, we haven't done anything with them for quite a while. The third one is New Kiwanis Club Steak Night in the Park. Again, yep, it's on a Tuesday in Regner Park, it's kind of for us, it's a low-key event, pretty basic, pretty easy for us, not a lot of impact on the park, but it certainly is a nice evening out in the park for some West Bend residents. Number 4, West Bend School District Foundation fundraiser. Some years they have 1 or 2 events, some years they don't have any events in Regner. This again will be probably a fairly sizable concert in the park. We're looking at Saturday, June 27th for that. Again, working with the school district, their foundation. For us, this is just kind of a no-brainer. We'll get things set up and they can bring 1,000 people in a Regner Park. The next one is 2020 Relay for Life for July 11th. Again, this is nothing new for Regner Park. They will have their walking route around the pond up to the entertainment area. They will have banners. They will have 10x10 pop-ups. They will have teams. It will be a very, very busy day in Regner Park, which is good. And one more, we have the Homegrown Music Concert for July 12th, again in Regner Park. Again, a returning event and everything kind of standard for us, so.
Who does the Fiesta Latina? Is that Casa Guadalupe?
Casa Guadalupe.
Okay, and then the Relay for Life, is that like cancer?
Yep. So,
Any other questions?
it's actually the American Cancer Society.
American
so,
Cancer,
but,
okay.
yep.
Any other questions for Mike on the events? Okay, I guess we need a motion to approve all 6 events.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion, second, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Looks like a lot of stuff here. Donations.
I'll start. Pleased to announce a donation by Bob's Main Street Auto and Towing for support of Movie Night in the Park 2020 for $500. Pleased to announce donation made by Shooting Star Travelers for same event, Movie Night in the Park for $400. Pleased to announce a donation made by Killian Management Services for $1,250 in support of the 2020 Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. It's my pleasure to announce a donation made by Children's Hospital of Wisconsin, West Bend Pediatrics for $1,250 in support of this year's Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. Pleased to announce donation made by West Bend Communities Foundations, courtesy of West Bend Mutual Insurance Company Charitable Fund for $2,500 in support of this year's Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. Pleased to announce a donation made by CityWorks for $1,500 in support of this year's Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids event. Also pleased to announce donation made by Delta Defense for $1,250 in support of this year's Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids event. And also a donation made by Sharon Rosebeck for $50 in support of Special Olympics expenses. For Special Olympics, $50 from Sharon Rosebeck.
And I have a donation for $500,000, which I'm sure you've all heard about, from from the West Bend Community Foundation's Mutual Insurance Company Charitable Fund for the Riverwalk West. And I can't say how appreciative we are. They have been
Yes.
so supportive of this project and all the other projects around the city for the park. It's amazing. So, big thank you to them.
As you can all see, West Bend community is coming through again. I mean, we're very fortunate to live in this community. Just look at the numbers, you ask, and it is very nice. We're very, very fortunate, so. Make a motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. I don't think so, but
You gotta ask.
you gotta ask, right? All right, reports. Chairman, first of all, I want to congratulate Megan Kennedy, our new city council person, for your appointment. Outstanding. You ran against 4 and you, nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, it's outstanding. You want to say a couple words or now's your chance?
Got a lot to learn, and yeah, looking forward to work with everybody on the council. Everybody that I've met so far has been great. So, but look forward to it for another year and 2 months. Hopefully, I don't get yelled at too much.
Outstanding.
Just trying to get on. Kinda new at this.
Yeah, that's my plan.
After she got sworn, she ran for the door, but we caught her.
Yeah, all right.
Just kidding.
I don't think she was planning on starting that night.
Yeah, I did not know they were going up. I thought it was like a regular job
No.
where they're like, okay, you start Monday.
Come on.
Here's your seat. Did they have your name tag already?
No.
She even had the police chief carrying her purse.
Yeah, I was like gonna go back and sit and watch, and they're like, no, start voting. I'm like, oh, okay.
Congrats again.
That was
so.
pretty
Yeah, I literally thought it'd be like start next week. We gotta like go through orientation, like a job. No.
Jump in the water.
And also, again, as you can see with all these special events, look at our summer down at Regner again this year. I
It's
mean,
gonna be full.
is there any dates left, Carolyn? You know, with the Saturdays and Sundays, it's filling up, right?
Not many, you know, we get phone calls and people are still amazed, like, oh, there's no dates available for a graduation party. I'm like, that ship sailed like on January 3rd.
A wedding venue.
So, again, a great park and it's wonderful. It's being used. It really is. So. All right, Secretary Mike Weston.
I went to a couple of council meetings this month. The first one was to appoint Mike as chairman. Congratulations again. And then the other one was to appoint Megan and approve the bidding and everything. And like Mike said, it's gonna be a busy summer with the Kiwanis shelter and the baseball field and the library, and it's gonna be exciting, and the start of the Riverwalk.
A lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot of things going on, not just the events, but a lot of things going on. It's gonna be fun.
It's all good stuff. Thanks, Mike. Project Manager Cindy.
Not too much. Kiwanis Shelter, as Mike said, that's went out to bid. The bids are due back on March 17th. Estimate for the concrete, putting up the structure and the roofing is about $31,000. Outside of that, the project will also be paying to have the Energies run that line across the parking lot. And then we have to get a contractor in to hook it up to the shelter, put in lights, outlets, all of that kind of stuff. And somebody else will be cladding those posts with stone too. So we can't do the electric till we get that done and all this other stuff. So we just did part of it for the bid. The other thing I had is the tree surety project. The bids came back on February 7th. We got 4 bids this time. Dan Larson Landscaping was a little bitter again. So he was awarded the project for $39,295. And we have the option of awarding $800 for hand digging extra holes if utilities are in the way, and another $11,200 for additional watering cycles if we need them. We've never used them in the past 3 years, but we have to have the money in case we do need it. The other thing I have is, in between other things, I've been working on putting together the request for proposals for the All Abilities Playground, and Mike and I talked through that today. So I have some pictures to add with that, and then I'm gonna send it out to the design group, the moms that are spearheading this, and they can take a look at it, and then we'll get it out to bid. Cool.
It's just to get some ideas. I mean, the fundraising is got a long way to go, doesn't it?
Right, this is for the design of everything. So it includes doing some grading, because there's some topography in the park that we can take advantage of, which will make it really cool. and to figure out, pathways and equipment and all that kind of stuff, and put all the things in that this group wants to put in. So, but yeah, then once we get the design back, then they'll be fundraising for all of the projects.
And with the design also, I mean, we get construction specifications, costs associated with it. So this is what it's gonna look like, this is how much it's gonna cost, the layout, the
Drawings
different-
and things
yep.
like that for marketing and
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Is there gonna be a presentation on that,
Yes,
once it's kind of
Yeah.
set up
Yeah,
more? Okay.
and I know some of you wanted to come to if we get we talked about having the top candidates doing interviews in person with them. So we'll see how that goes, but, I've got that in the spec, so.
and we would invite one or two or whatever park commissioners to be part of that review committee. So it'd be staff, the playground committee, some commissioners. And even when we get to the point of, okay, this is the company we'd like to hire, they still have to come before the commission to do a formal presentation of, this is the company, this is our design, and kind of use it as a public kickoff meeting also. So, Cindy's done a great job getting this together. And
The way this happens is you get the proposals and then it's not low bidder, it's a rating sheet that you use. And there's certain criteria we list, and then those are rated. And then the committee each takes a proposal from each of the vendors who supply one. They go through and individually rate that. And then we get together as a group, and then we compare notes, and then there's a total score, and then whoever gets scored the highest is the one that we look for. And then if there's any questions, and they'll probably want to talk to them in person too, that's where the interviews get done, after that criteria rating gets finished. So it's a whole process.
Great. And Dan and Kevin, you guys are happy with the tree guy, right? I mean, everything he does, I see is
Oh, Dan Larson?
Dan Larson, right? I mean,
Yeah, he's been, not to interrupt, but I think
No.
he's been doing it about 4 or 5 years.
Yep,
And
yep.
There was 1 year that he didn't do it.
And we got burnt, right? Okay.
Disaster, yeah.
Nope, I just wanted to verify, because I see what he does, is a nice job, so.
Yeah, he does good.
Okay, good to hear.
Easy to work with.
Any other questions for Cindy? Okay. Tourism and event, Jackie's not here. Mike, do you have anything for her? You
she's
kinda went over
good,
the
she's
events?
busy, special
Okay.
events, special
All
events.
right.
So. Yep.
Okay, conservation supervisor, Courtney.
Sure. You may have noticed a couple flyers that I put in front of your name tags that I know I've updated you about some upcoming events, Second Saturday Stewards, starting May 9th. So that's just letting you know the dates in case you or anyone else is ever interested, want to share that with anyone. So that's going to be the second Saturday of the month, May through October, from 9 to 11 with me at the Conservancy. And our Memory Cafe kickoff is May 20th, and that will be held every month on the third Wednesday of the month, 1:30 to 3 p.m. We also have another event coming up that's going to be on May 6th. So next commission meeting, I will have a flyer for that. That is going to be a Science for Everyone event about monarchs. We have a James Binder who's coming, he takes groups to Mexico every year for their migration. He's an expert on raising them, increasing their population. So it should be a really cool event to bring people a free event at the Conservancy. And he also is going to have a booth at our annual plant sale on May 9th. For those who can't make the presentation, he will have an educational booth there to talk with people there. Just another update, we've had a forestry mower from West Bend Elevator out in our pine plantation area, the 7 acres, removing the underbrush, which is mostly invasive buckthorn. So this is going to be the first part of a large project to come with harvesting our pine trees in 2021. So we already have trees ordered for 2021. They're being held at the nursery right now. So if you are out at the Conservancy and you're in that area, make sure to take a look at the work that's being done and the transformation that's to come. That's all I have.
What time on May 6th, Courtney, is the Monarch?
We don't have the times worked out. I think it's going to be at It's from 6 to 7:30, but I will have more of an update by next meeting.
And that's like the Wednesday before the plant sale, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yep, it's
Okay.
the same week as the
Together.
plant
Nice.
sale. Yep,
So-
Wednesday will be the event, and then we have our plant sale that Saturday.
Busy out there too.
Yeah,
How many people do you usually get to like help with the second Saturday or like attending Memory Cafe? I'm just curious. Are they pretty popular?
They're brand new.
Oh, okay.
So, don't know. But Second Saturday Stewards is definitely, I think, gonna be popular, because I have a lot of volunteers that reach out that work during the week. They can't come on Wednesday mornings with the other stewards, so they wanna come on a weekend, and mostly, like right now, I usually have Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts on the weekends with me. So this will be an opportunity for adults, and it's family friendly. I mean, I have 5th graders that come out with their parents and help cut buckthorn. That's more than fine for them to come. And the Memory Cafe, from the ones I've observed at other locations, there's usually about 12 to 15 participants with their caregivers, so hoping for a good turnout.
Yeah.
The ones that I have already met, they plan on coming to our location, so it should be good.
thank you, Courtney. Recreation Supervisor, Nick.
Winter swim lessons will finish up on the 29th, this Saturday, and then spring lessons will start up on the 7th at the West Bend High School pool. Gymnastics classes finished up on this past Saturday, the 22nd at Silverbrook. Women's volleyball will conclude next Thursday with their tournament championship matches, so that's March 5th. Matches will play Tuesday, Thursday evenings throughout the winter at the University Gymnasium. Youth dance program is ongoing. Kids are preparing for their dance recital, which will be April 25th at the Silver Lion Performance Arts Center. Update on Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids sponsorships. Obviously, I just read quite a few of them off. We have 11 out of our 13 2019 sponsors returning, with a 12th sponsor sounding positive, just waiting on their budget numbers for donations. We reached out to some potential new sponsors. We're waiting to hear back from them. Hopefully we'll know more within the next couple of weeks. March 1st, so Sunday, obviously through our online registration process, will be the first opportunity that people can sign up for the Mud Run. So March 1st is kind of the kickoff of registration. The goal of this year is $2,500. We're applying for a marketing grant that hopefully will pole vault us over that threshold of 2,000 that we've had the last two years and get us to that goal number of 2,500. Those funds will be able to get us some more outreach outside of Washington County to kind of help promote the event. We've really put not much at all financial dollars towards the marketing of the event. So again, hopefully that will increase participation. Not that anybody's complaining about the participation, but the goal is 2,500. And also, youth theater, and then your youth softball and t-ball leagues will also open up on March 1st too, so people can have a little earlier opportunity to register for those programs. And then our entire programs, all of our summer programs, will begin registration on March 17th for residents only, March 17th, and then non-residents a week later, March 24th. Staff explored the option of using RecTrack software to collect donations. I mentioned a little bit about it at the last meeting, if you recall, through our program registration process, but it proved to be impractical. So we're exploring some different ways to bring awarenesses to any upcoming projects that we have within the department and avenues that we can accept donations. For example, if we want a new slide out at the raft, we can put, probably through Facebook, emails, get awareness if we need to raise money, for those type of projects. So as projects come up, as the need for funding, we'll keep you, updated on that information. Summer prep, obviously getting the seasonals, getting them all hired and rounded back up. We got some good and returning seasonals and some key leadership roles for summer activities returning, and also at the beach as well, some head guards coming back. So excited about that. And then job announcements will go out early in the next couple of weeks, early March here, and get everyone else hired up for the positions that are opened and get rolling. Spring activities will start in April, and then just roll right into the summer.
Around the corner.
Any
You
questions?
feeling good about the lifeguard again? Because that's always been tough
We'll see, sit down next week with the Y and kind of see where they're at, where we're at. Like I said, we got the leadership coming back, so.
That's good.
That always helps with the recruitment of the other younger guards, as well, so, but yeah, to be determined. You gotta work at it, you
I
gotta,
know,
you
no,
gotta
I
work
know.
at it, you gotta keep
Yep.
the recruit in, obviously wages are challenging and competitive as well, so there's always that piece of it as well, so. But
Was there an issue last year, Rittner, with drowning?
It was a couple of
No.
years ago.
Couple years ago?
What,
Okay.
2016?
16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And there is a lifeguard on duty, but I mean, it's probably a little hard to see because it's pond-ish water, right? It's not clear like a swimming pool.
It's a swim pond, not
A swim,
Pool,
but
right.
yeah, but
Yep.
it's not like, it's not like a pool where it's like,
But they're covered all the way around.
Yep, all the way
It's-
around.
It's not just one.
okay, there's
So,
several guards
yes.
posted.
And in
Yes.
recent years too, Nick has incorporated some changes with different zones and things like that. So if there was a larger group, they might put them in one area so the guards have a,
Focus on
yep,
it.
on that one area. So it's not just one or two swimmers scattered around. So Nick's done a nice job
When the,
incorporating some of that.
when the pond opens, you'll see that there's, where the raft area is, there'll be ropes, there'll be barricade around it. That's the only deep areas, that's the deep
Okay,
part of the pond. And then there's a kids section, which is zoned off as well, and that goes from basically 0 depth to full 5 feet.
okay.
And then over by the beach house on the northwest side, that goes from 0 depth all the way to about 3-4 feet as you approach the raft, and it gets deeper. And that's where we do our swim test. So, but, yeah, like, again, once it opens up, we can go out there and show it.
Yeah.
It's all roped off and zoned off.
Cool.
Anything else for Nick? Thank you, Nick. Park and Forestry, so Kevin, you wanna start?
Sure. This year we had the ice skating rink, which never opened. We just never had the right ice, and we got snow on it. And
Yeah.
we're not taking any chances. I mean, the north end is always Fresh Springs. So that didn't open this year. I just finished up on the winter signs. I'm just finishing Wingate. That was the last one that we had. That one was vandalized. So those will be done, and the guys are just waiting on 2 cargo nets for our new obstacles that they did for the mud run. They're
Oh, yeah.
going to be very popular. They're very big, and
What's the name of the new obstacle?
we have no name yet.
Nick?
Ninja Fortress of Doom. It's on camera now, so it's done. It's official.
Kevin's Ninja Fortress.
Let it be written.
Look for a donation for naming rights.
Yeah.
I talked to one person, Mr. Walters, and you said you had a couple people.
I did actually, today I had a chance to talk to Anytime, and they're interested.
We actually left on the sides we left the pillars all the way up, so we figured they could put flags on the top if they wanna sponsor one. There's 2 of them, if they wanna sponsor one, they can sponsor one, or both,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah,
There's a couple
the
people
current
that-
sponsors, yeah.
Sure.
Cool,
So it's gonna look like a castle, they're gonna be neat for the kids.
excellent. Any questions for Kevin? Appreciate it, Kevin, thanks for coming tonight too. Dan, Forestry,
Forestry, we just finished trimming our annual winter pruning. We did all District 1, and we're halfway through District 7. And tomorrow we got some other winter projects we're gonna attack, so we're gonna stop doing that. Earlier in the winter, we did right-of-way work, trying to get all the dead ash away from the roads so that we don't have any issues with falling in the roads. We did Scenic Drive West, if you've seen that. We did North 18th, right up by Green Tree. We also did Woodway into Regner, and we're gonna do some replanting like they did with the goats and stuff out at LLC in that area. We did Kenny Park, and we have to finish up Ziegler. So we're trying to address the hazards, because now we're kind of caught up on the street. So, and the last thing we're doing right now is updating the street tree inventory. And we got multiple staff that we're trying to teach. We have everything put on an iPad now, and we go up and down the roads and tree health and just what species, updating everything, because it was originally done, we had it contracted in 2005. So, with remove all the ash, created a need for an update.
So it sounds like you got more trimming than expected this year, huh? Cause,
Yeah, I don't think we expected to trim as much district trees as we did.
Correct.
But,
which is a good thing, I mean, it's good you got.
yeah, we had to really catch up. There were some areas that we had 5, 6-year-old trees that hadn't been touched yet. They were really, and we only had one run in, so it was
Yeah.
not a bad gig.
Outstanding. Any other questions for Dan?
Are you in charge of, when people like request a street tree, does that go through your department, like the planting of street trees, so like the removal of the ash, like people that wanted a replacement?
Yeah, well, I'll come out and I'll remove the tree,
Okay,
and then I tell them to get in contact with City Hall,
okay,
and they get put on the list for free street tree.
okay,
They send out a form to us, we go back and we approve the ordinance, make sure that their spacing is correct.
okay.
So, yeah, I have my hand in all of that too.
Is there a lot of people on for the next few years because of the ash removals? there a lot of people interested in it?
Actually, a lot of what happened was when the ash came down, people didn't want a tree back because they were sick of the mess. A lot of people, I would prefer to have trees put back in,
Right.
which is not always feasible, but you also have to work with the customer, and if the customer doesn't want a tree, then we leave it up to them now. If you want a tree, call in, and we can get you one, otherwise, we're not gonna replant it.
How many do you think were taken down versus replanted?
We cut down 3,500
And
ash
then,
trees on the street.
do you know how many people have like asked, like 200? I mean, are we
Oh, no.
like,
We have a EAB, I don't know what you call it, response plan, that every year we plant anywhere from 250 to 350 trees.
okay,
So we've been doing that since we've been cutting them down.
okay, so not just
So
street
it's
trees?
not that they're not trees going back out
Okay.
there, it's just that the residents,
On their
Yeah.
right of way,
Yeah.
okay.
so,
I think Dan's correct, I mean, it's cost people, it's not the street tree, it's the trees in their yard. I think people, it opened their eyes, having these big trees and they died. They saw the cost they had to pay out of their pocket, and I actually think that cut people putting trees, it cut them back from putting trees in.
Right.
Because do they wanna deal with it
Right.
well, they got 20
Yep.
years, but I'm
Isn't-
sure.
Isn't the same as when the sidewalk gets lifted up, sometimes they don't want a tree.
Yep,
there
yep,
again.
absolutely.
Oh, 'cause the
Yep.
roots do
Sure.
that.
Pay
Sure.
half for
Yep.
sidewalk.
And Megan, like this year, we're planting 236 trees, so, with the, street tree planting program, it's Dan and the forestry guys out on the street, to Cindy, to front office, everyone's kind of involved.
Okay.
Getting in contact with our customers, either online, on the phone, face to face, so it's a good program. Again, we're lucky to have Dan Larson again this year.
Yep.
And also for like Villa Park, again, those stumps are scheduled to be removed
Yep.
this spring of 2020.
Yep.
And what Dan and the guys are trying to tell everyone is, when your stump disappears, go ahead and apply for a tree. And they don't have to call City Hall, if they want to, Carolyn's a nice lady, call, she likes to talk to our customers, but you can do it right online. They can go right online and apply for their trees. So if they apply in May of this year, it'll be a spring of 2020 plant,
Okay.
2021 planting, so.
The other thing we do with that though is when engineering is doing work on streets that they have to cut down trees. What we'll do is, these guys will go out and look and see how many trees can we put back. And then we actually contact all of those property owners to make sure they want the tree back. But we kind of, as a default, will check and make sure that they want it, but we will want to plant those trees again on those streets.
Okay.
So,
in doing that, we're hoping that there won't be any disruption to those trees for 10, 20 years.
Right, right.
As you're putting a brand new road in.
Right,
So-
8th Avenue is a good
Right.
example.
Yeah.
8th Avenue was finished last year, and we'll go back in this year, then Cindy with her contract. And
Start plugging them in.
Yep, but then again, like Cindy said, we don't just do it, and we certainly are not gonna ever force our customers that, you have to take this city tree.
Yeah.
If someone says no, it's no, and it's at no direct cost to the customer
right,
side.
right, yes, I know I got one after mine got cut down.
So,
the average cost of one tree this year for it to be planted and watered for the summer is like over $260 per tree.
Right,
With-
yeah.
with warranty.
So
Yeah.
it's not cheap. to
You know,
do
it's
that.
expensive, they're nice trees that
They're
you
not
put in, they're
beautiful
good
trees.
size and,
Yeah.
and everything, they're not
Yeah.
ones that you easily run over with your lawnmower or something, like. Yeah, it's a tree, so.
Carolyn?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that we're able to give our customers really good service on this. Karen Steinhardt has taken, the part-time administrative assistant has taken a good lead lead on this as well, and she's done a great job contacting all those residents who've requested a tree. Sometimes we have to defer because the stump isn't ground out. She's really great working with them, what species, because there's species change this year too, because we had a number of tree stock that died in the nursery. We had to call them all, and she's just been a great asset to this team to give our customers really good service and good communication on that.
Good.
So.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan, too, for coming to the meeting tonight. We do appreciate it, so thank you very much. All right, next director, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. I'm gonna touch a little bit, I guess, on my 3.5-week transition period here, something like that. I've been in my new role. One of my goals to start off was to meet with all the staff members one-on-one. I actually finished with Courtney today, not the, she's the most important, maybe not the last or whatever. But, I mean, I always knew what our staff does, but now I really know what our staff does and what they're involved in. I think Cindy and I probably talk about 10 times a day on different projects, and that's good. I say that in a positive fashion. Cindy's, the Riverwalk project downtown on the west side of the river, I think, might be one of the most challenging locations in this community to do any construction, between utilities and soils and right-of-ways and property owners and private utilities and everything else. So Cindy's doing an excellent job with that. The All Abilities Playground, to the Kiwanis Shelter, to you name it, Cindy's involved with many different projects. So I'm hoping I can help her out, especially with the All Abilities Playground. If we do get to the point of Carl Cuss construction, I'd like to limit her exposure to that because she just physically doesn't have the time. I will take the lead on that. Meeting with Nick and Jackie, going through special events and recreation. Nick is a superstar when it comes to rec programs and fundraising for the 30 Ninja Mud Run. He's got it going on. He's got it all figured out. It's very impressive. Courtney's doing a super job. She has 2 brand new events here in front of everyone tonight. Megan had a great question. Hey, what's participation? We have no idea. Brand new events. These are just 2 of many new things that she's doing out there. She's rebuilding the adventure camp program. That's going to be pretty cool. She's working with Kevin and Dan on that also. Some of the logistics with kayaks and fishing equipment and things like that. And Carolyn and Karen up in the front office are just, they could probably write a book on customer service. They are superstars. They handle every issue we just discussed here tonight. They handle every one of those issues. They address customer concerns, questions, things like that. So again, I said it 4 weeks ago when we were here, I'll say it again. To work with a team like this is just, it's a lot of fun. A lot of energy, a lot of positive attitude, and they're just ready and willing to take on more. So with that, staff, thank you very much for what you do for this community. So that leads me into commissioners. I will be contacting each and every one of you. I already have a meeting set up with Megan. Megan wants to talk dogs and parks and some other things like that. So I will be setting those meetings up in the next day, probably tomorrow and in early next week. So, and if you don't want to meet with me, that's fine. That's good too. So with that being said, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Mike?
Do you have an update on the deer? Oh,
I didn't read the last email. What was the number?
10 new ones.
Yeah. So we were at 43.
43.
43, and our target is still 60.
Oh, wow, good.
So they've had some very successful evenings.
That's outstanding.
So,
Good.
Last shoot was 10.
Oh, that's really good.
Yep.
Anything else for Mike? Is there anything else for the good of the Park and Rec Commission? Anything else? Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.